Welcome to clickmyproject.com. Let we discuss about the process text video completion using structure repair and texture propagation. Let us see the abstract of the process. Removing image defects in an undetectable manner has been useful in various applications. In many cases, the desired result may be ambiguous from the image data alone, and it needs to be guided by a user knowledge of intended result. We propose a framework for interactively incorporating user guidance for filling processes more effectively using user input to fill in damaged regions in an image. The framework in which the text regions were located is initially identified. The located regions were identified by the help of edge detection and the morphological operations. After the detection of the text regions in the videos, the text regions were replaced or otherwise filled with the nearby image pixels in order to make the video previous in the process. So first the videos were converted into frames. Each frames were subjected to edge detection in order to remove the unwanted text in the video. After the removal of the unwanted text, the detected text regions were replaced with other image pixels in order to modify the video frames. This process is applicable is based on the interaction with the user. So for the videos provided, the threshold ranges and the detection methodologies has to be modified. The image pixels is replaced in a case that the neighboring pixels were selected and the regions were replaced in the image. Let us see the flow of the process. The input video, which contains the text regions, were taken as the input. The input video may contain the text locations in any locations of the frames, so that regions were initially extracted. After that, the videos were converted into frames. This frame conversion process is employed based on the selection of the video frame height and width, and based on that the videos were converted into frames. After that, the edge regions were detected in the videos. The detection of the edge regions will be helpful in the identification of the text locations in the images. After that, gradient calculation is employed. In gradient calculations, the text strokes were obtained exactly since the text regions were of similar patterns in the videos. After the gradient calculation, the text pixels in the images were identified by means of comparison of the current frame with the previous frames. After the identification of the text pixels, the neighboring regions were grouped in order to locate the text locations in the overall video frame. So the grouping of this is employed based on morphological operation, and the selection of the entire group is done by the use of the selection of the particular regions from the images. After that, the identified regions were replaced with the help of neighboring pixels, which is based on the calculation of mean values of the surrounding pixels and substituting the nearby pixels of the images. After the replacing of the pixels, the text regions were located and they were eliminated, and they will appear as the previous video frames. Finally, the performances of the processes were analyzed. Let me see the running procedure of the process. If you want to run the code, select the file main.m, which is located in the source code folder. Right click it and click on run file. You will get the user interface for the execution of the program. These are the buttons and this is the display regions. These were all used for the execution of the programs. So select the input videos present in the dataset. So these videos were the ranges, the text region ranges and the locations were set it for these videos. Hence the process will work exactly for the videos present in the dataset. Now the video is loaded and it is displayed here. After that, we apply the frame conversion process. The video is converted into frames. After that, the edge detection methodologies were employed. So as we can see, these are all the edge regions detected, and we can see the text regions were located here as it is. Then after the detection of edges all over the frames, structure repairing process is employed. As we can see, the detected edge regions were employed for all over the video frames. After the detection of the edges, the structure repairing is employed. So in the structure repairing, the text pixels regions were identified. So in the text pixel regions, the image regions where the text locations were identified were located more or less in a exact manner. So this process is applied for all the video frames. Then the text pixel location were identified. So this is the text pixel locations in the video frames. So as we can see, we have detected the text locations and we have marked them alone. So this text locations were detected for all over the frames in the videos. After the detection of the text locations in all over the frames, the removal of the text locations were done. So as we can see, this is the regions where the text pixels has been identified. So these regions were replaced by the neighboring pixels values. And as we can see, for particular static background regions, the detection will be more accurate, and while for continuously moving more dynamic regions, there may be some defects in the process. So finally, after that, the performance of the process is measured in terms of the calculations of PSNR value and the RMSE value. So thus we have detected the text locations in the images, and the text locations were replaced with the other regions of the images, and finally the performance of the process is measured in terms of PSNR and MSE.